Hello everybody and welcome back to Minecraft. My name is Buzzy107 and today we are going to get started on that house. But to get started on the house, I need to head in the direction directly behind the way I'm standing because we need to go to a desert, we need to go to a jungle, and we need to go to a badlands. So, with all that being said, and without anything further to do, let's go ahead and get on our way. So, the first thing that I want to do is, since we are in 1.20.5, well 1.21.5, I want to go ahead and grab a saddle. We're not taking our horse, and that's because we have a lot of area to cover. But I do want to take a saddle because if we can get a camel, I think that would be pretty cool. For no other reason than just to have a camel. But this trip is going to be a long one, so I made sure to pack extra blocks, extra food, and everything, because we gotta head out about like 2,000 blocks, I believe it is. So we're gonna go start heading that way, and if I run into anything interesting, like the new animals or anything of that nature, we will come back and I'll show you guys them. But mainly, this is just gonna be a long walk. So, I will see you guys when we find something interesting. Alright, so we're out here in the savanna biome, and there was one of these guys running around. Let me see if I can find him real quick, just to show you guys. Ah, here it is. Look at the new pig. And there's like a regular pig. And there's the new guy. Hey, new guy. But look at the chicken. Hi. Too bad I do not have some way of putting them in boats and flying them back to my house, because I want all the new animals. And we made it to the desert, and the jungle's like right over there. And look at this town already. But I need to collect as much cactus as I possibly can, so we're going to go ahead and put the cactus on the hotbar. We are going to grab that new flower type. Which, I mean, I like the fact that there's a new flower type, but I really wasn't concerned with the new flower. I mainly just need the cactus. Alright, as you can see, my inventory is stacked with items. Definitely know I'm not going to be able to fit anymore. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just get all this stuff kind of organized a little bit. Get the cobbled deep slate on my hotbar so I don't use any of the terracotta, because we've got 6 stacks of terracotta, and that should be enough to hold us for a while. But I think now it is about time that I head back. Little pit stop on the way home. Look at these cows. I definitely want to take these because these look more like bulls than cows, and I could have those like in the pen with the regular cows. And I mean, they're all cows, but still, wouldn't mind having some bulls up in the stables as kind of like a, I guess, more of a male cow, because, you know, tend to think of male cows as bulls more so than, you know, having more dairy cows. But I definitely like that. Definitely should come back and grab some when we have an elytra. But for now, we are going to head home and drop off everything that we have, because we have a completely packed inventory. An hour and 10 minutes later, and we are now back at our house. That was quite the adventure, quite the trek. And yeah, I just want to go down here, stash these in here for right now, and then just kind of offload all this stuff. So I'm going to unload everything, and we're going to see what all we got. So I have a long wait ahead of me, so while I wait for these pumpkins to grow, these melons to grow, excuse me, I'm actually just going to go ahead and fish and let them all grow, and then, yeah, as soon as I have enough, we can actually start the build. So, I'm going to wait for these guys to grow, and then when we come back, we will be starting the build. Alright guys, be right back. Alright, we are back. Sorry about the big build skip in between videos, but let me go ahead and go over what we've done so far. I went ahead and made a little wheat field. I'll go ahead and go here and we'll jump into free cam and look. So if you look over here, I made a stream coming down from the mountain. It comes down and fills up this little hole right here that I made, and that is supplying water naturally to this whole crop field. Now I'm not planning on taking and harvesting this field or anything like that. This is literally just for aesthetics. And then around it I dotted these azalea trees that we got from growing some moss for our build. Now if we come down here, and hopefully I don't trample any of the plants, but if we come down here and look, I have all of the building supplies that I'm going to need for this house in this area, but I went ahead and grabbed some sheep. And what I'm planning on doing here is making a little bit of a sheep, I guess you could call it a sanctuary. But if we come right here, I can show you guys kind of what my idea is. Let's go ahead and jump up a little bit more. So I'm going to bring these basically around. I don't know exactly how high I'm going to go. It's going to be a kind of like a come back and step back and look. And I think that might be too high. But what my plan is to do is to make basically a continuous structure going all the way around here and dot some of these lanterns that I've got all throughout. So I'm going to go ahead and get that planned out, and then we'll come back and we'll get that in. Then it'll finally be time to start our house. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick nap, knock down some of the stuff that we've already got up there, and then we will come back once I have this all kind of figured out. Because I'm thinking that I might go ahead and put some of the mud brick walls in if I have enough dirt at the house that I can just kind of, you know, make a bunch of mud bricks and get myself a decent little area to put them in here. Because I think a mud brick to the oak fence, well, mud from the oak here to the mud brick to the oak fence and then over would be a nice little contrast. But let me go ahead and figure that out, and then we'll come back. Alright, so I think that's actually going to be pretty good for the sheep. Now let's go ahead and wrangle them up and bring them in here. And what I did was I went with that mud brick, as you can see. Went with the mud brick to the oak and then just did a little canopy over the top. So nothing too crazy. And Leah, my wife, is trying to hold our 70-pound dog. But let's go ahead and get these sheep in, and then we can start breeding them up. That way we can have some some wool that we can actually use for all of our needed designs that we're going to have. And I'm probably going to breed these guys up and just get some more going. We've got plenty of hay bales back at the house, so let me go ahead and breed them up, get some of this grass grown in so they're not, you know, chewing just the grass blocks. And yeah, go ahead and do that, and then we will come back. Alright, so we are almost ready to get started on this. I'm going to go ahead and get out the some stone real quick, and we're going to lay out the platform here. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 back, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, and then we come in by 2, 1, 2, in by 2, 1, 2, and then we go out by 2. We're going to go out by 3, just to have a little bit of a step down, and that is going to be our front. It should be 2 by 7, and we got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's because we went here, and we went here. So it's supposed to be I want to come out by 2 from there, and that should give us the 7 wide opening that we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, I see what I did. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we can push all this dirt back by 1. Basically have it right here. And we can replace this with stone. But yeah, that's a basic outline of our house. Now this is going to be a smaller house, mainly because I have such a big area behind me, and I feel like the area behind me is going to kind of support everything, but I might need to move everything over a couple because it is a 5 by 7. So let's go ahead and check that real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm going to have to move everything over by 1. So, and then so let's see. Nice. So that should keep everything the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. And then make sure this is still 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops. There we go. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so that's, like I said, this is the basic outline. And the one reason why I'm doing it so close to this cliff here is I actually want to have a stairway that comes from the house to this little raised edge. That way I can get to the field, get to the sheep over here. Basically, I'll be able to access everything fairly quickly. And I'm just periodically going in here and collecting the eggs from the one chicken that I have, because I do want to start a little bit of a chicken farm. And definitely going to need the eggs for that guy. And so far we have 3. But got all my materials here. I should have a little bit extra, but we're going to go ahead and we are going to get started on our house. So let me grab all the stone that I need. And then we can actually get started. thankfully we now have flashback on, so I hope you guys enjoyed that time lapse. And this is the build. And I wanted to go with a little bit of a gradient style roof, which is why I used the green terracotta, the lime terracotta, as well as the melons, and this is actually green concrete powder. I think that it all blended pretty well, and I used the melons as more of a highlight than anything else. But yeah, I mean, I think that this will actually be a pretty good foundation to work off of for the rest of this city, town, village, however you want to frame it. But we definitely have some more terraforming to do, and we need to add some greenery around just to kind of bring it into the build. Now, I did use the moss blocks here because I want to add a little bit of water. Maybe it's coming up from like over there or somewhere. I want to have a little bit of water right in here. So I figured I'd add this mossy cobble and mossy bricks to kind of, you know, add a little bit of definition for the water that will be here. And also you can see I use stair blocks. Those are actually to represent like pieces missing out of the bricks after this being here for a while. And use the same thing over here. We put our horse in here, and we have a hay bale, a bucket for it to drink, and then, you know, wait for us to get out. Now, as far as lighting goes, I do need to work out some lighting because it is pretty dark at night. But if we come inside, you can see that we used honeycomb for the floor, and then orange terracotta and yellow terracotta, and then honey block in the corners. And that was just to bring like a lighter color into it because, you know, all the grays from the stone and everything. And then I went ahead and added some amethyst around just to bring a little bit of like a mystical feeling into it. But this is all our storage. Each one of these has something in them. Now I do have to figure out a way of labeling them, but this is just temporary. It's more of an aesthetic storage than anything else. Then we come up here. We've got our little kitchen here, a divider wall, where for like if we want to put a tower on this staircase. Right now it doesn't do anything, but might put a tower there, not sure. And then our room, again, more aesthetic storage. And then over here we have more of the just like this is all our mob drops, this is all of our food, that sort of thing. Another amethyst cluster. And with the mod that I have installed, actually I can actually sit at our desk. So I think that's pretty cool. Oh, here we go. And then I just shift to get out of it. So that's pretty much what we have so far. Now I do want to add, I am going to go into like a creative copy of the world and kind of map out how I want the town kind of to work itself out, because like I said before, I do want this to be basically the center point of the entire area. And over there where I've mined out a little bit of stone, I want that to be our mine entrance. And then over here, this is going to be the outskirts of the city, of the area. And it's just because, you know, this is going to be where my home is. I don't want to be right in the middle of everything. Now this won't be my only base here. This is just going to be like my main one because, you know, it's a little more aesthetic. We built this off camera, and it's just a little fishing spot. And then we added in the azalea trees, which I will be adding more of those around. I just got to get a few more saplings. And then, as you can see, we have a fully aesthetic wheat field. And we can just kind of walk around. But it's getting to be nighttime, so let's go ahead and get out of here. And we're going to go ahead and take a nap, and then we will end out the episode there. So Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so that has been it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Next episode, we are probably going to be doing more of exploration. I want to try and get some of those warm climate animals over here, like probably the chicken and the cow. And possibly look for some cold climates, because we did find the desert so far. We have found the savanna and the jungle as well as a badlands, but I do want to find a grove at least, and probably a taiga. That way I can find the woolly cow, the kind of neat haircut chicken, and also I want to try and get myself a grayish wolf to have with our brown wolf. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please, like I said, hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next one. Alright guys, bye.